subject matter was for the light-skinned people. Too white to be black, too dark to be white, because that's where we get caught. We've also have heard this term, and Michelle and I still joke about it. There's something that's called light-skinned tendencies and dark-skinned tendencies. We learned the last time that Chris Brown had dark-skinned tendencies, but he light-skinned. I mean, but this is your peers that term that coined that phrase for us. So we had that particular person try to kind of describe what is a dark-skinned tendency. I normally do something that I want y'all to see. Buck, if you would, could you come here a minute, bro?
Sure.
Yeah, he's a little bit darker than me, a little bit taller than me. If y'all were walking in the mall, who would y'all be most feared of? Me or him?
The bigger one.
Not the one.
Bring Brian up.
Wow. All right. What's your name, bro? Louis?
Glory.
His name is Glory.
Glory, come in.
Oh.
5'11". They making me look short. What are you, 6'3", 6'4"?
6'5".
All right, now to the three of us, who would y'all be most feared of?
What?
Hold on. How many of y'all be feared or concerned with Buck? What about Glory?
I'm a grown man.
All right, but look, how many of y'all would be feared of me? Isn't this amazing? It's always the same answer. Nobody is fearful of the light-skinned guy. Bring it up here.
I just want to point out, the dress clothes right now are also not helping the issue.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing. Why are y'all fearful of Buck?
Because he got his
I had to rock move with my mama last night, to be honest. It's crazy. She's cool.
But Jonathan, let me point something out. It may be you may be at a it may be a little bit unfair to ask this crowd because you have a crowd of African American students. We're used to being with each other. If you ask that same question among a different racial group, you might get a totally different answer.
I think it'd be that same answer, though, wouldn't it?
No, because some people said, I'm not scared of any of them. How many of you said you weren't scared of any of them? See?
Yeah, but I don't think it's scared. I think it'd be like,
Intimidated.
yeah, like societal.
All right, the thing is, though, this is the amazing part. The same fears and prejudices that y'all just displayed over Buck is what we display to one another, and then that is projected upon us in different environments. There are 14 site directors from Crane, Indiana to Florida up to Maine. I am the only black. All right, I say this all the time. I don't want to beat up a particular race, but I'll say other than blacks can say they have credentials. We have to prove we have them. They can say they went to college or that they have a particular credential. I have to produce transcripts, degrees, certifications. Then they want to know how long was I in school, what school did I go to, et cetera, et cetera. That's in the business world. Now, yesterday, I called Michelle because I was offended. I went to go pay my cable bill at a cable company where there were two African-American females working. And this lady happened to say this, and I called Michelle, and she asked me some questions, and it made me think. The lady said, "Ooh, I'm glad one of y'all high yellow folks done come in here, because I like a high yellow man." I was offended. I get tired of hearing that. I'm not high yellow. I'm just light skinned. Now you wait till about June, kind of turn a little red. I mean, I get darker, but I'm not high yellow. And Michelle asked me, how did that make you feel? Well, certain letters I couldn't say, certain words I couldn't use. But it really offended me, and she asked me why.
We keep it real in here.
All right.
You're fine.
May I have the liberty to speak freely?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna ask y'all to respond to me. There are two terms that I cannot stand hearing from our community. I totally dislike when a female calls another female a bitch. That's my bitch. It's a term of endearment, so I've learned. It's a term of disrespect, because a bitch is a female dog, not a female human being. And when you hear brothers say, that's my nigga there, that's my nigga there, it's supposed to be a term. Please, I'm asking, I'm gonna challenge y'all, please don't use that. The only way we can change the perception that other people have of us is that we respect one another with our own perception. Because a nigga's a stupid or foolish person without respect to race, color, and creed, by Merriam-Webster. So it's okay for us to say it amongst one another, but you let somebody else say it, it's gonna be a problem. I'd rather hear you say, that's my homegirl, that's my girl, whatever. Now, if she ratchet, yeah, call her ratchet at least. Don't call her the other thing.
So, Jonathan,
Yeah.
did you go back and address the situation with the rep in the
cable girl?
camp? Yes.
Well, this is the funny thing. I called, and if I'm trying to say Miss Leverett, but I call her Michelle. She's Michelle to me. I called Michelle and I told her what happened. And she said, Jonathan, can you go back and ask her why? I'm like, yeah, I need to go back. And I did end up going back. But she said it. Now, it's funny. The pink card, and the only reason I gave you these cards so I have an idea of what you see yourself as. She's about this young lady's complexion. And she called me high yellow. And then she said, I loves me a yellow man. I said, what deems me yellow? Because, when I grew up, I'm 48 years old. We had the Crayola 8. Black, brown, green, yellow, red,
White.
blue,
And white.
and white.
White crayon, right.
Yeah,
White. And there's one more I missed one.
Orange.
Purple. It was
Or
purple.
purple.
Purple. Because we had to take our crayons and scribble them together. Next week, I'm going to be much darker. And that means it doesn't take long for me to turn colors. I mean, I get sunburned just like anybody else. But I mean, I will darken up. Now, it's amazing when my skin gets darker, my eyes get lighter. They're green right now, half bloodshot, because I've been up since 2 o'clock. But the thing is, depending on my mood, what I wear, and the environment around me, my eyes change color. Now I'm looking in the room, I don't see anybody else with these. With
Jonathan,
these
I'm sorry. What did she say when you went back to address it?
You know who I know's on the phone. No, she just said, I like yellow men. And then she said, why, you don't like being light skinned? She's her color. She ain't but one drop of tint from being my complexion. And I mean, she ended up apologizing, but if she's perceiving me as being high yellow, I got a problem with it. Now, I don't know your name. What is your name, brother? Uh-huh. Caleb. Where are you from? Oh, you from Carolina? All right. How often do you hear anything about the complexion of your skin? I'm going to show you how biased we are. Glory commitment again. Caleb commitment. Now I need 2 females. I don't care which 2. I need color of the spectrum. Just 2 females that are willing to volunteer for me. All right. There's one. Need another.
Jessica, she'll do it.
Miss Jessica. Thank you, John. All right, this is what I want you to do. Now watch this. I want 3 things to describe her out of anybody in the class.
Which
Say it
one?
again. If you had to describe her to somebody, please describe her. Wait a minute, hold on. She's starting off with light skin. What else?
Who started off with license?
She said light skin.
Say about 5'5".
5'5", so that's a height, and what else?
She wore glasses.
Wait a minute, glasses. Light skin, her height,
And she has natural hair.
natural hair with glasses. Describe Caleb.
He has a beard.
Beard,
He
okay.
wears glasses.
You would say light skin. You say real
Look,
light.
she's carefully stepping around.
Right.
You said glasses with license, right?
I said just describe it.
Oh, well, yeah, he light skinned. He could pass the white. I didn't know that he was
See?
white.
Are you black, white, green?
Oh,
All right.
But Caleb, what do you consider yourself?
I consider myself a feminist. I don't consider myself one of them.
Okay, all right.
All right, now watch this. What would y'all describe me as? Light skin. Go ahead, start off.
Somebody said red. Somebody said red.
Red. Finally, I get one.
I say a light skinned black man.
Okay, describe her.
Beautiful.
Aww.
What else?
Aww.
Light skin, highlights. What else? Y'all probably say slim. Light skin, describe Glory.
Dark skin.
What is your name? Yes. What is your name in the green shirt?
James,
Mr. James. See, I called you old school, and I don't want to insult you.
no problem.
Look, you are a seasoned learner. You had to teach them how to learn, how to do what you do. Then did you hear what he said about Glory? He talked to him like a cup of coffee. He said tall, dark, and he said something else. What was the third?
Black.
And black. But I respected him enough when he started talking about Allah. He was talking about El being God, Hebrew word for God. He's still talking about the same God that Genesis 1:1 created heaven and earth. He's talking about the same God. It's just he called him Allah. So I was cool with that. Now, when they talking about Allah from the 4th century, I got a problem with that. In the ministry side, there are actually 2 dynamics of the best word I can use at this present time is racism. It's really sexism and racism. There are cliques within the cliques of a church. And it doesn't matter Baptist, Church of God in Christ, UCC, non-denominational, interdenominational. There are cliques within the cliques, just like this classroom. There are cliques within the cliques.
But okay. Oh,
I'm going there.
okay.
I'm going there.
All right. All right.
I'm going there. The thing is, in the Baptist community, light skin, good hair, dress nice, and a deep voice. If he was married, if he had a little slim wife that played the piano, it was good. Church is packed. The darker preachers, it was a problem with. Because the light-skinned brother always had a packed church, so they would invite him to revivals and all this other stuff. Because he gonna bring the women. What's the women gonna bring? Money. They didn't care about the brother. As long as the money came in. The problem with that is they as society, the church, you know, the baptized body of believers, the church will begin to prejudice certain groups. When I was at Virginia Union, I had a pastor of a church says, "You can't preach at my church." I was like, "Why?" He said, "Because you light skinned." This is one of my classmates. I'm at the same Virginia Union HBCU that he's at, Samuel DeWitt Proctor. School, seminary, school of ministry. I'm in the same program he's in. And he says, "I can't preach at his church because I'm light skinned." And he wouldn't tell me why. Well, I finally ended up preaching at his church for a funeral, He said, I can't believe you were here to preach at my church. He said, now I'm going to have a problem with all the women in my church because now they're going to want you to come back. I'm like, I couldn't understand that. Something else that happened to me, and that's what Michelle's trying to get me to go. Today, on my way down here, I went to a Love's truck stop, fill up with gas. And there was a young lady in there. I heard a black sounding voice, but she wasn't black. So I had a conversation with her. It's a Caucasian young lady that has dated black men. So I asked her, I said, well, do you date black men? I'm all hyped about it. She's like, yeah. I said, well, have you ever dated a white guy? She said, yeah, I used to date him. She said, but I don't date no more because I'm married. I said, well, where did you marry? And she said, a black guy. I asked her, did she have kids? Yeah. I said, are they mixed? She said, yeah. So I asked her, I said, and Caleb, you probably be able to identify with this. I said, have you traveled up north, New York, around there? Yeah. Going down south? Yeah. Been to Disney World. So I asked her, I said, where is the greatest prejudices toward your kids by that declaration? Thank you.
So my question was, with what you were saying, I think it's like the standout features, because whenever everybody said about me, my standout feature was my height. So the first thing they said was, he's tall, he's this, he's that. So I mean, that's if you're like regular size, average male, they can't be like, oh, he's this, because it's like.
Turn it that way, Michelle. I want to hear what you're saying. Say that again.
Do you mind being on camera?
Yeah, but it's kind of just like they started off. But the first thing that she stated was like the standout feature, and with me, my standout feature is my height. So if anybody ever see me, they're gonna be like, that's the tall, and then whatever.
Whatever else.
So I mean, it's bad to say, but I mean with you, it's kind of like you're not too tall, you're not too short, you're the average size of an average man. So they're not gonna go by your height because that's the average size. They're gonna go by your next standout feature. So in most cases, it might be your skin complexion or your eye color, because that's your standout feature.
That's a good point.
I appreciate that because now I won't be so offended. It's just for 48 years I've been hearing the light skin, whatever. Now, I have dated from Caucasian, Asian, mixed, Indonesian, but I married black. Middle Eastern, Hawaiian, Samoan, and Michelle and I were starting to talk, and I was trying to figure out what my MO is. And there are certain dynamics, certain features that they fit. And again, they're usually between 5'2" and 5'6". And for me, it's proportionate. It's not just the bottom, it's not just the top, it's gotta be proportionate. But the proportion for me is not just the exterior proportion. They have to be intellectual. They have to be educated. They have to be able to conjugate some verbs. They have to use conjunction junctions, pull it together. I mean, they have to be able to speak. Because with education and the ability to speak, you can clearly communicate. Even in the heat of a matter, or when you're trying to relay a message to your mate, your spouse, or your boo, whatever you want to call it, him or her. You know, for me, you got to be able to talk. Because if all you talk about how pretty you are, guess what? Keep having birthdays. Your pretty ain't gonna be so pretty, and gravity is gonna take its place because beauty fades.
We have a question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So in the professional world, do you think that the skin complexion has worked out to your favor, or has it been more of a detriment than anything?
It's actually been both. I was just denied a promotion, literally, because I'm black. I'm the most qualified. I have the most experience. They've announced this job 5 times. I've come out top of the list 5 times. But they said literally, and I when I was at the base the other day, they said